Hello, everyone. While everyone gets logged in, we'll give everyone just about 30 seconds and then we'll get started. We will allow Matt and Dan to sit awkwardly through the silence.
Hey, I'm just happy I got internet.
I know it's what for the audience while you are getting logged in. Dan sent the panic button that he didn't have internet at the hotel that he was at. Obviously, it was a budget move.
Motel 6, we're all cutting budgets in the mortgage industry still, so had to stay
Yeah,
at a Motel 6.
took one for the team. And also, before we get started, Matthew, do you go by Matthew or do you go by Matt?
Matt's fine. It's easier to
Okay.
say. Yeah,
All
totally.
right.
And I didn't
Awesome.
I didn't push the panic button for you, Jody, but we had tornadoes and storms come through like in the last half an hour, and I'm thinking I'm not going to be able to make this thing either. So so power
Yep.
outages and all kinds of things going on in Austin. So I
Yeah.
figured I wouldn't panic the crew.
So we will take it. So if anybody gets knocked out of power, because it seems to be some weather across the United States, last week, about an hour and a half after the show, we had straight line winds hit in southeastern Ohio, knocked out power, internet. It was pretty scary where I had to like get up and move, but the show was over. So we understand that. So we'll make sure that we're careful. So welcome everyone to the SIP. I'm your host Jody Hall, the CEO and the president of the Mortgage Collaborative. We developed the SIP to have a space for fostering collaboration between lender members and partners. And when we think of meeting for a sip, a coffee or an adult beverage, we think about catching up with friends and colleagues. And really, it exemplifies the camaraderie that we experience within the network of the Mortgage Collaborative. Our vision for the SIP is simple but impactful. It's a platform to unite partners and members, showcase real world case studies of collaboration, and solve industry challenges. And we really use the collaboration within the industry so that we can expand to the rest of the industry and not keep everything secret. So let's all elevate our game together. So thank you for taking the time to join us today. I hope you all didn't take too many sips of your margaritas yesterday on Cinco de Mayo. Um, Today we are co-hosted. It's a little bit different version of the SIP. So as opposed to having a partner and a lender member, we have two partners of the Mortgage Collaborative demonstrating their collaboration within the network and what that means to the industry. So we are co-sponsored today by eVocalize and Total Expert. So eVocalize is represented by Matt Marx, CEO and co-founder, and Housing Wire Vanguard Award winner. And joining Matt, not quite as impressive, but a very impressive individual, is Dan Catinella, Chief Lending
Thank
Officer
you for
at
that.
Total Expert. So thank you both for sponsoring the show. I think that you are both very highly engaged partners of the Mortgage Collaborative, and we look forward to you showcasing how you collaborate together in the industry. So welcome.
Thank you. Good to be here. Glad the tornadoes and internet issues didn't knock us out of this one.
Stars aligned, and we got Dan as well. So we're
Thank you.
very excited.
Yeah.
So, like I said, today is unique and is unique for the show, and that we have two partners working together. And it's also the first SIP in its very long 2-month tenure that we are hosting our lender members together at 2 p.m. Eastern, and then it will be going on LinkedIn Live at 3 p.m. Eastern. So you guys are just here for a round of first. So as long as everyone maintains power and internet, it is going to be a thrilling show. So Matt, eVocalize is your all-in-one solution for attracting, capturing, and converting borrowers online. and not even specifically to the mortgage industry, without digital marketing experience being necessary, which is a plus for me. But will you please explain what this means and what the problems are that you solve independent of the partnership with Total Expert for the industry?
Sure thing. And again, I see some friends on the chat, and so good to see your names out there, and really appreciate the time just to riff with y'all about this. I think, from our perspective, Evocalize, we spent a long time building technology in the residential real estate space, really technology for lead generation, for the portals and marketplaces. And so portals and marketplaces and brokerages like a Redfin, Realtor.com, a number of the largest brokerages out there. We built significant chunks of their lead generation platform to get buyer and seller leads. And we realized kind of in the process that we could take that technology and simplify it, make it easy to use, but not simplistic, because great lead generation takes a lot of data and it's really hard. And we could integrate it in the real estate industry with some of the best CRM tools, some of the best website capture providers, and effectively make a turnkey solution for residential real estate. And fast forward to today, we have more than 500,000 realtors using us in that industry to generate their own leads, so they don't have to go and buy them all, pay expensive rates. And so we took that and looked at the mortgage industry, and about 2 years ago, brought that same technology that the real estate industry used over to mortgage, and started with a couple leading mortgage providers. But at its core, really what we're trying to do is make a turnkey system. This is where Dan and his great team come in to play. We can't do it alone, but a turnkey system to generate your leads, nurture them and capture them and nurture them through the process, so you can control your own pipeline and your own lead generation process versus having to go just depend on third parties for your business.
We love simplicity in the industry, but we also get scared if it looks too easy that it isn't real. So
Totally.
Dan, I love that you two are a recovering lender like me, and you have reinvented yourself, transporting to the mortgage technology space. We met when I think I was still a lender back in 2022, and it was at the Housing Wire gathering in Scottsdale. I'm pretty sure we shared the stage. I can't tell you what the content was. Just remember meeting you there in person. I know Total Expert well and have been a client over the years, but for those listening, how do they know? Tell them what Total Expert can do for them and what you can do for the industry.
Yeah, I think our story has certainly evolved too over the years as the product has expanded and it's gotten, wider in breadth. But we really look at ourselves as a customer operating system that's been purpose built for financial services, combining sales, all the sales CRM capabilities with automated engagement. Think of email, text messages, launching digital ads through some of our partnerships like Evocalize. All the marketing collateral management, print and social flyers that are important for agents and support open houses and things of that nature, as well as now with customer intelligence, which are your data and insights, understanding consumer behavioral, always updating the financial picture of every consumer in your database into really a single sales and marketing platform. So really bringing all those things together into a single kind of customer operating system, if you will. Our vision is pretty simple: empower financial institutions to build lifelong customer relationships by delivering the perfect blend of human connection and intelligent automation. We currently serve 15 of the top 25 lenders in the country, including banks, credit unions, and IMBs, to enable them to engage customers with the right message at the right time, driven by data, powered by insights, and executed at scale across their entire organization. We have proven that unifying marketing, sales, and customer intelligence into a single platform, we enable our partners to drive growth, deepen trust, and deliver exceptional customer experiences across every stage of the financial journey.
And you do a very good job of marketing. I think that you're the most well-known in the industry for your marketing efforts. And I have a feeling that someone might be on the call with you that helps support that. So
I'm sure.
Evelyn.
Not.
So, so Dan, we're going to have to cut you off because your internet is failing you right now. You are frozen in a very awesome position.
He's probably saying something amazing too.
I know,
Oh,
it was
he's coming.
probably like mic
He's
drop.
coming back. He's coming back. It was going to be
I'm
super fun.
defrozen.
You're in. You're in.
So since we have a little bit of technical difficulty on Dan's end, Matt, do you mind telling us how eVocalize and Total Expert have partnered?
Sure thing. So actually, like as we started, I told a little bit of the story about our history, and as we looked at the lending industry, we thought about housing, right? And it's a pretty natural extension from residential real estate. We looked at the industry and looked at like who are the best folks out there to go talk to and partner up with, and really it became pretty clear. You talk about Total Experts marketing, but their software package was really a customer operating system, as Dan framed it. It's pretty awesome. It was a perfect kind of complement to what we do. So if we think about going and acquiring customers, they do nothing. If you just acquire a lead, you acquire a customer, and you do nothing with it, right? And we know in this industry, when we're talking about the industry, whether it's a real estate agent or a loan officer, they have a lot to do, and they're not necessarily wanting to log into a system all the time. They're not necessarily wanting to, work these things manually. And so what we Total Expert came together with us. We really kind of sought them out in the early days, and as just a best-in-class partner to be able to connect our systems seamlessly together. So when we go and do all this great marketing for a loan officer, we can hand a lead directly down into their system and have it start to be nurtured with the context of what the consumer responded to. So if it's a VA loan, we want to start talking about VA loans. If it's a first-time home buyer or non-QM, we want to start talking about those themes when we pass them in and nurture them automatically through Total Experts journeys. And so we really started with that. And then we started to pull data back in to vocalize like your customer database. How can we use that as a part of the marketing puzzle? The more data you get, the better. And then Dan mentioned the customer intelligence. So now that we have customers populated, they're already customers that in the database, they release pretty awesome customer intelligence, which allows, and I'm going to butcher this for Dan, but which allows you based on life events to execute marketing and outreach to folks that get married or divorced or have significant changes in their lives. And now we can use those as signals as well out in the marketing ecosystem to go reach people where they're spending time, like Instagram or Google, Meta, YouTube, all online. And so the idea is, how do you build a turnkey solution so folks don't have to knit it together themselves? And I think a lot of vendors ask a lot of lenders in this space, and we didn't want to be another one asking for folks to knit things together themselves. So that's from my perspective. I don't know, Dan. I think you're back. Maybe I butchered it, but
no, you did great, Mark. Matt, it's a complex space, the digital ad landscape, and what Matt and his team have done to create really simplify that from a locality standpoint and offer a turnkey solution. We thought it was just a natural extension from our journey automation. So we always look at how do you create a omni-channel experience. And yes, we have native email and text messaging capabilities, but that's not all the channels that you really need to be in with today's consumer. So when we took a look at what Evocalize was offering, it was really just became a natural extension of our journey orchestration framework. So, which is our automation tool inside of Total Expert. So now not only can we, deliver the right message via email or text message, but now we can orchestrate digital ads through the Evocalize platform that really just create, an omni-channel type of experience, delivering the right message at the right time in the channels that those consumers exist in.
Yeah, I like the consistency that it brings because I know that if you want people to have a repeat process where they have a lead, they put them into a campaign and want to start nurturing that lead. The only way you're going to get it done the 100% of the time is if you automate it and you do it for them. Because there's a whole lot of momentum sometimes in the beginning. You can get people, handling the leads and nurturing the leads, but there's a period that it dies off. It's hard to get them back into the groove, and it's like automate it and do it for them.
And proving the ROI too, Jody.
Yeah.
Like because Matt and I have built this end-to-end, digital life cycle. We're really able to measure the ROI from end to end, from the spend that you have on these, social channels and digital channels to, what we're actually converting business-wise inside Total Expert, because we have direct source data from, LOS systems and other transactional systems.
And Dan, that's an awesome point. I mean, that's the point because, we talk about lean times and tumultuous times in the industry and in housing writ large, but so you kind of have to look at like, what is your investment going to bring? And not only can we now connect the dots and show a return on investment, like $1 billion dollars in new loan applications in the first year for one of our major combined clients as we built this system out together, but we can give you a pure ROI together of what that means. And then to take that even further, we can train the machine learning models, because a lot of this is, again, using AI. So you can train the machine learning models with actual success to increase quality, decrease cost. And that's a lot of the magic of this stuff, right? Today's marketing is all about how you use data. And if the data is disconnected, it's really kind of hard to make work together like that.
Yeah, it's a great point about ROI. And from the demographics of clients, do you see that there's a greater ROI for IMB versus bank versus credit union? Do you need to have a servicing portfolio? Like, what would you say is the ideal demographic of your partnership and how it works best for clients?
You want to answer that, Matt? I have kind of my opinion on it. I don't think it matters the way you segmented it, Jody. Like whether you're a credit union, whether you're a bank, whether you're an IMB, the solution can be just as successful in each of those different, vertical industry verticals, if you will. I think where I see the secret sauce and what we have come to market with together is just being able to create an enterprise-wide turnkey solution down to the individual localized originator level. That is extremely challenging to try to do outside of having kind of these two platforms work together and have an enterprise strategy. It's really challenging to do that at scale individually. I've tried to do that in my past experience, and it's really challenging to do that at scale across your entire organization with all the different markets that distributed retail LOs work in. So I think the biggest secret sauce is really getting hyper localized with your distributor retail channel and delivering those very isolated, targeted, personalized ads at scale across your entire organization. That's my opinion, where I think the value creation goes off the charts.
Yeah. No, Dan, I think that you nailed it. I mean, the reality is like whether you control it centrally and run marketing on behalf of your loan officers or even in a CD form, or if you're handing control. So a lot of our partners will run marketing on behalf of their loan officers and then using Total Expert data for those loan officers, which is pretty cool, right? Like run hundreds, thousands of programs, all across the country. And then you give folks who want to invest in their own business the ability to press a button and run their own marketing programs to do the exact same thing. And these are not simplistic programs, to Dan's point. Like these are really hard to knit together. Again, most people don't know that the portals where folks buy leads, these marketplaces and portals out there everyone knows about, they spend like 70% of the leads that they get come from Meta, Google, TikTok, right? 70%, right? And they're paying for about 30% on average. It's just where the people spend time. So So regardless of kind of who you are, where you are, you need to be doing this. It just becomes really hard to execute without all the pieces together, and it becomes really hard to execute at the local level. To Dan's point, it's just asking a loan officer to do this in a compliant way is challenging.
Total Expert has been a longtime member of the Mortgage Collaborative, and and eVocalize has come in and become heavily engaged in the network, which we're really excited about. But I have always looked at Total Expert as being for large IMBs because that's how I was introduced. So I have like that brain fog and bias. But Dan, I was reviewing the partnerships that you have, and besides TMC, you have a heavy presence with banks and credit union organizations, Acuma, ABA, CBA, CCUA, Cornerstone, CU 2.0, NAFCU, and all the acronyms from here to there. What do those partnerships mean to you across the industry?
Yeah, I think it's pretty simple. I mean, all the financial institutions really are focused on how do you create customers for life. Customer loyalty, customer retention, cross-sell opportunities. So the story is pretty consistent across whether it's mortgage, banking, or credit unions. I think there's different challenge. The challenges vary slightly. For example, when we talk to a bank or credit union, my counterpart James White will tell you all day long, like most of the consumer databases in banking has a very low percentage of penetration inside the mortgage division. So it's like, best in class will tell you is like 10%.
Yeah.
So it's very low penetration. So there's a ton of opportunity that we work with banks and credit unions where we typically start, it's an evolution with a bank or credit union because they got a lot of different divisions, depending on how the organization is framed up. We typically will land in the mortgage division and prove success there, and then we'll expand out through the organization. So some of that expansion may be, we'll start, getting that.
Uh-oh, here we go again.
Our retail consumer banking data, basically.
You're
Am I
back.
lagging?
You came
You're
back.
back. You're back.
You're back.
Yeah. So we'll start monitoring them with customer intelligence, and then we'll start feeding, basically create a lead gen engine for their mortgage division of all the opportunities that we surface that would be untapped from that retail consumer banking database. So that's typically an easy win. And then, there's a bunch of different cross-sell marketing automation opportunities that we work with banks and credit unions on just to increase the penetration from some of their other product offerings that they have. So it's an evolution, depending on the size of the bank and how they're structured, but it's pretty exciting to be part of those different networks.
Yeah, huge opportunity within the credit union space and having member data, and even in the depositories and having member data. And those who aren't, who have, you see mortgage transactions coming out of their accounts and they're paying people other than you for the mortgages. So huge opportunities in that space. And I imagine that the two of you together could do amazing things in solving that for them. And then Matt, admittedly, I didn't know much about eVocalize. Someone
My
asked
marketing
me,
people are going to be super fried over that. No, I'm
well,
just kidding.
that's not your fault. I've only been with the Mortgage Collaborative. I think this is my 92nd or third day on the job. And I'm a recovering lender, so I wasn't working with leads and lead data for a couple of years. But beyond knowing that you're a part of TMC and that you work with several of our lender members, I would love to partner with you to drive new membership to the Mortgage Collaborative. So we're trying to add new lender members every day, and I see that there could be opportunity to improve our performance and visibility and drive loyalty and revenue to maximize efficiency. So how do you leverage AI? Because everybody wants to know about AI to maximize the return on investment that you previously talked about, and in mortgage lending specifically.
Yeah, it's interesting. AI. So we have AI we've used AI for years, years before kind of the Chat GPT moment, under the covers of our solutions, as have Facebook and Google and a lot of the pioneers of this, right? But they're used in different ways than people became accustomed to with generative AI, with the chat experience and the ability to create imagery and create text, and which is a transformational, obviously, thing for us and for humanity. But a lot of the marketing that's done has used machine learning, which is kind of a subset of AI, for a long time, and it basically relies on data, as I mentioned earlier. So the first thing that we think about is, how do you use the data signals of success to train the machine to simply say, go do more of that and less of that. And it's really behind the scenes, it's all statistics, and all you're telling it is, go do more of that and go do less of that. And so for us, it becomes a go do more of lower cost per lead, like a more efficient marketing, and higher quality leads, right? And then it's finding the balance of quality and cost. And so that runs underneath our system everywhere we go. In industries like real estate, they're regulated, but not as regulated as we are in lending. And so they have a little more freedom. So we have generative AI built in, where we can automatically build videos for their listings. We can automatically copyright all of their marketing for them. Literally at the press of the button, all this stuff pops out, just because we have listings coming in into our marketing platform automatically. And then you can automate through AI and automation, based on the signals on listings, what's happening in marketing. So maybe a listing comes and it's coming soon, and we automatically build a bunch of marketing, put it out there. When it goes active, maybe we run some Google search for specific keywords in your neighborhood. We're running some other types of things, right? And then as it changes status, we're automatically changing the marketing for that listing for the agent, so they don't have to do anything. And we're keeping it fresh and running out there. So that uses a lot of AI, all kinds of different types of AI to run. In lending, we're a little tighter because compliance guardrails are a little tighter. So we don't use as much of the automated copywriting and some of that stuff. We'll do that more at the corporate level, and have the corporate groups use some of that technology to set up more theme-based marketing with lots of different variables in it, like lots of messages, lots of images, lots of videos. And then those go out, say for VA, and try and find folks that will resonate with different messages and bring them into the puzzle. So it's really all of that. And for us, we're even starting to de-emphasize the mention of AI in some of our marketing, because it's just everything is now AI, right? And so it's so leading with AI, which we've done over the past couple of years, almost is a little weird, because it's like, well, the whole thing is AI. AI is just the product now, right?
Yep. Yeah. Simplification as opposed to AI.
Totally.
It's querying searches that you don't have the human ability to do with. You can't do it. You think you might take a longer time to do it, but you mentally cannot sift through all of the data and come to conclusions. So I was going to ask you about this, but we're running out of time. But for those of you who didn't see it, Housing Wire had an article that came out last week, Canaries in the Mortgage Coal Mines, and it discussed how lenders are pulling back from tech investments and saying things like, we're not buying right now, or we need price cuts, or we need this or that because of uncertainty in the market, and we don't feel confident in your solution. And I know that a lot of tech vendors are feeling this. And what I say to mortgage lenders is that in any time of uncertainty, you have to intelligently invest in yourself. If people can show you return on investment, you should be willing to engage and hear them out, because it could be the missing piece that drives you from uncertainty to certainty, so that you can be confident in the business that you do. So that has been a ton of information in a very short period of time. I think that we've made it through all of the of our uncertainty with our technical difficulties today. But Matt, you first. How can the audience learn more about eVocalize?
Yeah, thanks, Jody. The first thing I'll mention is ROI. So if, to Dan's point earlier, if you're on the fence, if you're waffling, like, the return on investment case is really an important thing to look at when you're looking at your tech investments, to your point about the canaries in the coal mine article. If you're looking to contact Evocalize, you can hit evocalize.com/mortgage. That has a self-service kind of sign up trial process and an integration with Total Expert built in to that process. You can also connect with us on LinkedIn. We're just Evocalize at LinkedIn, and connect with me, please. And we've got some really exciting stuff coming for digital co-marketing to connect our real estate user base with our lender user base here coming in the next few weeks. So just preview that here.
Very exciting. And Dan, how do we get a hold of you or Total Expert?
TotalExpert.com, or hit me up on LinkedIn, and I'll make sure we get you to the right person based on your need. Obviously, current customers can reach out to their customer success manager or account executive. We also have some pretty exciting agentic AI capabilities that we're in pilot with, that we're releasing over the next quarter. So we're pretty stoked about that, and you'll hear more and you'll see more stuff on some webinars and some of the great marketing our team does.
Awesome. Looking forward to it. So thank you again, both Evocalize and Total Expert, for your sponsorship of the SIP today. You can find us here next week at the same time for members, and at 3 p.m. Eastern every Tuesday for the industry on LinkedIn. Thank you all who took the time out of your day to join, to witness industry-changing collaboration that will drive us forward the future of the industry. So until next time.